There was this moment the other day when my brother kind of said, hey, in a cyber sort of way, and he sent me a link to this piece called Storm, and it left me feeling for a while quite forlorn. It was by an Australian guy who seemed whingy and snide. I could feel all the anger eating up his insides, and how his poetry kind of smacked of, I'll fucking show you who's right. But I listened to the end because he's like some of my friends, and I liked some of his delivery, and it was clear he could rhyme, but something kept bugging me as he went line to line, developing this theme degrading Storm's feeble mind. Like she was merely a victim of too many hippie biscuits, and maybe she was. I've met a few in my time. But the things that she said weren't a million miles from the things that I've said, backed by reason and time. But I want to be clear, I've respect for this man, because it's clear to me that he does what he can, and I've loads of respect for anyone who tries and who won't settle for bullshit and believe any lies. It's clear that it's stupid to take on account what anyone tells us without questioning how, but there's also a point when we get lost inside, become locked in the prison of the rational mind. I've been there myself. I know that it's hell. I've felt the cold loneliness. Indeed, I know it too well. But when I crashed back to earth screaming out at the bump, I learnt to be humble in awe of the one. Now, I can't afford graphics to bring this story to life, so I'll just make my point and try to be nice. Now, what is it that makes someone want to so utterly demolish another's perspective, to deal out such humiliation that it leaves them feeling so terribly alone? Is it because they themselves have felt the cold, lonely agony in the absence of love? Is it because they also wish and are deeply envious of anyone who manages to feel connected? Now, I've got to come clean that my blood boils at times when I hear poorly thought out platitudes and cliches and lies as they fall from the lips of those snivelling types who breeze through this life in sincere, overblown, arrogant trite. I can't stand to be faced with comedy shite yearning for connection and authentic life, but I sense my friend Tim wields a punishing knife, and he desperately slices, screaming, I don't want to be nice! And I fucking hear you, brother. I don't want to be nice, but I'm trying to be gentle with all I don't like, because the internal's external and the outside is in. What I hate in this world is what I hate right here in. And I hate to wade through insincere fakes as much as you do, Mr. Minchin. Yes, that's right. But I learn compassion and to tease out the violence. There's this thing that's called empathy, and that doesn't mean nice. It's learning to live with the things we don't like, to accept that the journey is not to arrive. And as long as we blame and pile on the shame, it's harder and harder to forgive those we name as fools and as losers before it comes back again and blows up in our face like a boomerang of pain. And we never know when to expect it. Just when we think we're at the top of our game, life will surely come back and remind us again that we're not quite as clever as we thought we were, until we begging for mercy, God, please show me the door, and we all feel our knees pressed hard to the floor, and you're right not to think it till you've been shown the door to a world that exists beyond reason and more. 'Cause I've peeped through that door, and I'm not quite the same. And I know there'll be a time when I go there again, so I try to meter the desire to bring shame. Show love, compassion, healed with this flame of everlasting peace with amour. Shit, I think I've just heard Tim puke his guts on the floor. This may sound too nice, but I just had to say, Tim, I love you, but think twice before you put hate on a stage. So, dear Tim, according to you, there's no such thing as auras, reading minds, or tea leaves, or stars, or meridian lines. And if these people think they're applying a skill, they're either lying or mentally ill. Well, you might be right. But healing hands are bullshit, and there's no such thing as talking to the dead. And yet you quote as reliable information sources Wikipedia and statistical studies by pharmaceutical companies. Yes, that's right. It's because they've done studies and tests. So yes, it's proven. Okay. Well, for fear of being labelled as just one more hippie new age quack, I believe you may have a case of terminal rationalism, and may I dare to prescribe a large dose of Rupert Sheldrake taken twice daily with some Bruce Lipton, mixed down with some Robert Anton Wilson, Nassim Haramein, maybe a little touch of Albert Einstein, Joseph Campbell, and all washed down with a bit of Carl Jung, then come back to my office and we'll see how you got on. Love.